Hey YouTube, what's up? Good to see you all again. I'm back with another new video, and today we'll talk about Heart of Darkness. Yes, Heart of Darkness, which is written in 1899. It is a novel by a Polish English novelist Joseph Conrad about a narrated voyage up to Congo River into the Congo Free State in the so-called Heart of Africa. So guys, before going to the summary, let me first tell you about the novelist. Conrad, Joseph Conrad, is one of the most important English writers of late 19th and early 20th centuries. And get this, he wasn't even a native English speaker. Conrad was Polish and he did not actually learn English until he was in his 20s and after he had already learned French. His works explored the seedy underbelly of imperialism, the move of European countries to stake out claim to various far-flung parts of the world. So guys, now let's have a look on his summary. A group of men are abroad in an English ship that is sitting on the Thames River. The group includes a lawyer, an accountant, a company director, and a man without a specific profession, who is named Marlowe. The narrator appears to be another unnamed guest on the ship. While they are loitering about, waiting for the wind to pick up so that they might resume their voyage, Marlowe begins to speak about London and Europe as the most darkest places on earth. The narrator and other guests do not seem to regard him with much respect. Marlowe is a stationary man, very unusual for a seaman. The others do not understand him because he does not fit into a neat category in the same manner that the others do. He mentions colonization and says that carving the earth into prizes or pieces is not something to examine too closely because it's an atrocity. He then begins to narrate a personal experience in Africa, which led him to become a sailor, and give him a terrible glimpse of colonization. With the exception of 2 or 3 small paragraphs, the perspective shifts to Marlowe, who becomes the main narrator of the rest of the novel. Marlowe has always had a passion for travel and exploration. Maps are an obsession of his. Marlowe decides he wants nothing more than to be the skipper of a steamship that travels up and down a river in Africa. His aunt has a connection in the administration department of a seafaring and exploration company that gathers ivory, and she manages to get Marlowe an appointment. Marlowe replaces a captain who was killed in a skirmish with the natives. When Marlowe arrives at the company office, the atmosphere is extremely dim and foreboding. He feels as if everyone is looking at him pityingly. The doctor who performs his physical asks if there is any history of insanity in Marlowe's family. He tells Marlowe that nothing could persuade him to join the company down in the Congo. This puzzles Marlowe, but he does not think much of it. The next day, he embarks on a 1-month journey to the primary company station. The African shores that he observes look like welcoming him. They are dark and rather desolate, in spite of the flurry of human activity around them. When he arrives, Marlowe learns that a company member recently committed suicide. There are multitudes of chain gang types who look all at him with vacant expressions. A young boy approaches Marlowe looking very empty. Marlowe can do nothing but offer him some ship biscuits. He is very relieved to leave the boy behind as he comes across a very well-dressed man who is the picture of respectability and elegance. They introduce themselves. He is the chief accountant of the company. Marlowe befriends this man and frequently spends time in his hut while the accountant goes over the accounts. After 10 days, observing the chief accountant's ill temper, Marlowe departs for his 200-mile journey into the interior of the Congo, where he will work for a station run by a man named Kurtz. The journey is arduous. Marlowe crosses many paths, sees deserted dwellings, and encounters black men working. Marlowe never describes them as humans. Throughout the novel, the white characters refer to them in animalistic terms. Marlowe finally arrives at a secondary station, where he meets the manager, who, for now, will see his work. It is a strange meeting. The manager smiles in a manner that is very discomforting. The ship on which Marlowe is supposed to set is broken. While they await the delivery of the rivets needed to fix it, Marlowe spends his time on the mundane tasks. He frequently hears the name Kurtz around the station. Clearly, everyone knows his future boss. It is rumored that he is ill. Soon, the entire crew will depart for a trip to Kurtz station. The manager's uncle arrives with his own expedition. Marlowe overhears them saying that they would like to see Kurtz and his assistant hanged so that their station would be eliminated as ivory competition. After a day of exploring, the expedition has lost all of their animals. Marlowe sets out for Kurtz station with the pilgrims, the cannibal crew, and the manager. About 8 miles from their destination, they stop for the night. There is a talk of an approaching attack. Rumor has it that Kurtz might have been killed in the previous one. Some of the pilgrims go ashore to investigate. The whirring sound of arrows are heard. An attack is underway. The pilgrims shoot back from the ship with rifles. The helmsman of the ship is killed, as is a native ashore. Marlowe supposes that Kurtz has perished in the inexplicable attack. This upsets him greatly. Over the course of his travels, he has greatly looked forward to meeting this man. Marlowe shares Kurtz's background, an English education, a woman at home waiting for him. In spite of Marlowe's disappointment, the ship passes onward. A little way down the river, the crew spot Kurtz station, which they had supposed was lost. They meet a Russian man who resembles a harlequin. He says that Kurtz is alive but somewhat ill. The natives do not want Kurtz to leave because he has expanded their minds. Kurtz does not want to leave because he has essentially become a part of the tribe. After talking for a while with the Russian, Marlowe has a very clear picture of the man who has become his obsession. Finally, he has the chance to talk to Kurtz, who is ill and on his deathbed. The natives surround his hut until he tells them to leave. While on watch, Marlowe dozes off and realizes that Kurtz is gone. He chases him and finds Kurtz in the forest. He does not want to leave the station because his plans have not been fully realized. Marlowe manages to take him back to his bed. Kurtz enters Marlowe with all of his old files and papers. Among these is a photograph of his sweetheart. The Russian escapes before the manager and others can imprison him. The steamboat departs the next day. Kurtz dies on board a few days later, Marlowe having attended him until the end. Marlowe returns to England, but the memory of his friend haunts him. He manages to find the woman from the picture. He pays her a visit. She talks at length about his wonderful personal qualities and about how guilty she feels that she was not with him at the last. Marlowe lies and says that her name was the last word spoken by Kurtz. The truth would be too dark to tell her. With such an ominous title, Heart of Darkness delivers what it promises: ruminations on the nature of evil. The heart of darkness refers not only to a physical location but also to a state of mind and the grim consequences of imperialism. So Conrad was into metaphors. The text considers the deep jungle of Africa as the heart of darkness, both for its untamed and hostile wilderness and for its supposed savages who hang out there practicing certain non-European customs such as cannibalism. But why the African jungle is called dark? The answer is that there is not much light in there, what with the heavy foliage and the mists. The more complicated answer is that according to the novel, the wilderness makes the man metaphorically blind to their situation and surroundings. In the heart of darkness, you can't do good. You can only choose to be less evil. So guys, this is all about the summary and the appropriateness of the title. Thank you guys for watching this video, and if you liked it, please subscribe the channel and press that bell icon. Thank you guys. Bye bye. Take care.